think I'm twisted. But if I'm twisted, y'all let me know. Vertical or horizontal? Am I good to go? How y'all doing? How you doing today? Man, let me put this steering wheel down some because this is all in the way. Yes, it is. This is Grown Folk Talks with your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D, on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Weather is like the bomb. I'm loving it, and I'm hoping that the camera don't overheat so we can have some fun and talk about some things. I'm in the middle of eating lunch, y'all. You know how I do, and pretty much done. But I wanted to get on here before time ran out, finishing up an orange that I have. Yep, an orange. So anyway, I one of the things that was on my mind today that I'd like to talk about is, some will say if you're with someone who's mistreating you, I'm just going to go right into the meat of this. If you're with someone who's mistreating you, is it their fault or is it yours? What y'all think? I mean, because folks will only do what you allow them to do, right? So if you are being mistreated, however, you're still with that person, whose fault is it? People will sit up and complain all the time. They'll have something to say. And, excuse me, I ain't being rude. I just got to eat some lunch. So, they'll have something to say in regards to, well, that person ain't, they wrong. They wrong. They treat me all bad, and it's them. It's them. They the bad one, pointing the finger all at them. But you are allowing it to happen. hmm You are allowing it to happen to you, and you stand in the midst of the mess. I'll say this, and I can't say it enough. People, in general, will only treat you in the way that you allow them to treat you. You have to give them the okay to do this to you. Now, giving them the okay, hey, giving them the okay is not necessarily saying verbally that, okay, it's okay for you to mistreat me. I'm just a doormat. Step on me, wipe your feet on me, do me any kind of way. It's okay. No, you're not verbally stating and saying, but your actions is allowing you to keep it up, to stay with them and to deal with it. So if you stay with them and deal with it, guess what? They're going to keep doing it. You're giving them the power and control to keep treating you like a doormat. So whose fault is it? Does it get down to it being basically your fault because you should have control over your destiny? You should have control over how one treats you, what one does to you. Now, there's those situations where someone will do something to you, and I think my video has overheated because it has stopped in the midst of this, and I'm hoping that, oh my goodness, I'm hoping we don't have a problem. But anyway, someone will sit up and do you in a way that they feel is cool and they feel that you're allowing them to. So they'll keep on. Well, they're still with me. Well, they still okay with it. They making up with me. I can still get at them. I can still come over. I can still clap. I can still do a whole lot of things. And I just disrespected them to the utmost, to the highest degree, not too long ago. Whose fault is it? We have to start taking accountability for our actions. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video in a minute. It just keeps on acting up like this, y'all, because it stopped twice, and I think it has to do with the sun. So I'm gonna try to hold it right around here and see if that'll work. So, you get to the point where one is starting to feel as though if you're not taking accountability for your own happiness or your own okay or your own well-being, then nobody else is. You know, nobody is going to respect you more than you respect yourself, and that's true. And it has a lot to do with respect. So, no, it's not their fault. It's your fault. hmm It's your fault for allowing them to do what they do. Yep. Now think about it. If someone hits you upside the head a couple of times, right? They hit you upside the head, and the first time they say, "Oops, I didn't mean to hit you upside the head. It was an accident. You was in the way." And then the second time they turn around and they hit you upside the head again. Really? Really? No, that's not cool. You are allowing them to hit you upside the head again. So let's take responsibility for our actions and be accountable. Let's take responsibility for not allowing one to do us a certain way. Okay? Let's take responsibility. And, you know, you'll see better results. You'll see things happen in a way that is more positive in your direction than being more negative. You feel me? I'm trying to find a way to angle this phone, this camera, some kind of way where we can be cool. I'm gonna sit it right there for a minute. Y'all see me? Let's see what that do. So anyway, I do these afternoon thoughts. It's in the moment. It's what's on my brain. Something I may have talked about with someone else, or something I may have even thought about, and I try to bring that to us in a way where we can come together and go, and think about some things, because they're real life. They're real life. I was having a conversation with someone much younger, young lady, and I said I was gonna bring this up on my show in regards to, I think she's about 21, 22, and someone 40 years old is showing interest in her. And she's like, oh no, I can't do that. Now, it's not about trying to marry her or even be in a relationship with her. They just wanted to kind of take her out on a couple of dates. They found her attractive and things of that nature. And she was like, that is way too old for me. Now, what I like to say is, what do you guys think? Is that too old for a 21-year-old that's truly a grown young lady to go out on a date with a 40-year-old? You know what I mean? Um, I mean, that's, man, 20, 30, for man, that's a few, that, man, that's, I don't know. I mean, you think that even though they both are considered young, a young man and young woman, but when you're in your 20s, you're on a whole different wavelength, a whole different page, a whole different way of thinking, a whole different style of music, a whole different everything, right? And a 40-year-old has lived a little bit of life, is on more of a, a calmer type of page, usually. And done that in their 20s. So I kind of understood where she was coming from, but then again, it's like she's a mature young lady. Women are usually more mature than men around their same age. So the men that she finds her age, I would say anywhere from 20 to 26, they seem to be a little bit immature, a little bit more immature than where she is. So, she sees no problem with dating a 30-year-old, even 32, 33-year-old. But when you're going into the 40s, she said that's a bit scary. So this person that's showing the interest in her, want to take her out, want to spend some time, want to get to know this and that, she's just totally off from it. Now, when you look into, when you're in your 50s and that person is in their 40s, or you're in your 50s and that person is in their 60s, I mean, you're at a different mature level. You both have lived some life, and to me, it just it doesn't um I don't want to say hurt, but it does not cause as much of a imbalance 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you're dealing with someone much younger. Now, what surprised me is, even on the level of just going out on a date, she was absolutely no. I said, well, it's not like you got to be in a relationship with them. It's not like you got to get married to them. It's not even, it's just a friend. Just going out. You're single. They're single. You're going out, having some mature conversation, maybe a mature dinner, and things of that nature. And what's wrong with that? And she was absolutely, she thought it was like the most gross thing. She was like, oh my God, he is so old, just too old. I can't do old. He probably has gray hair and everything. And I'm like, girl, bye. And the man only 40 years old. But I remember when I was young like that too. 40 years old to me was kind of scary. But as you mature and get older, it's like 40, 40, 50, that ain't old. Not at all. So, what do you guys think about that? Me myself, I don't really get caught up in the stressors of how old someone is. I look at the maturity level of a person. I look at, how stable they are in their lives, how they treat me, how we blend and mix, can we do things on a mature type of level with one another, but at the same time have fun? Because I have a gregarious, fun personality, even at the age that I am at this point, which is just 25. But anyway, I have that fun personality where most don't even ask how old I am until much later. And then when I tell them, they're like, oh my God, you don't even act or look that. Well, okay, age is just a number. But so I don't get caught up in that. Whereas I'm not trying to deal with someone that's very, very immature or has not lived really that much life and had experiences to be mature enough to understand things. Definitely am not going to fall back into the 20s. That's just not going to happen. 30s, late 30s, I don't, maybe a little then or something like that. I don't know. I can't really say. It just depends on the maturity level of the person. So, as stated, that has changed moving forward in life. But when I was on a younger path, like this young lady just being 21, I can understand her fears maybe. But I just want to say that if she's watching or out there seeing this video today, girl, that is 40 is not old. It's not old at all. He probably living his best life right about now. So, I think with some people, and this is outside of the realm of dating or seeing someone that's a decade or two older than you, but some people have so many rules and barriers up when it comes to getting to know someone, that sometimes they miss out on good friendships and possibly a good mate. I'm not saying go out and marry somebody 20 years older than you. That's probably not the wise thing to do. But to have this list of, they can't be this way, they can't be that way, they can't be that way. Some people have a list of 100 things or more of can'ts, don't want, will not do, can't be this way, can't be this short, can't be this complexion, can't be this skinny, can't be this fat. I mean, just one lady was telling me one time that, okay, she had this thing about being health conscious. So if there was any type of overweightness, she was totally turned off. And also with smoking. Now, I can understand smoking because I'm not trying to deal with smoking either. I don't, I mean, I would prefer to be with someone who did not smoke. But again, it depends on the circumstances and the situation. So sometimes people get caught up in saying what they don't want or what they're not going to deal with, and you could be missing the experience of a lifetime. But my preference is not to be with a smoker. However, some have this long list of what they want in a person, and a long list what they don't. I mean, they have a list of what they want, and then they have this long list of what they don't want, and they rule out so many potential partners over the littlest things imaginable. They don't like the way you have to chew a certain way, your skin has to be a certain tone, your teeth has to look a certain way. I mean, these are things where your skin tone, you can't fix that. So that you either deal with them with the skin tone they have or not. Teeth and stuff like that, if a person is open to going to get their mouth fixed, their grill fixed, perhaps they didn't have any dental plan, and um things has changed now, so they're gonna go on out and get their teeth fixed. They're open to doing it. They just have not been able to do it. That's different, you know. But and according to how tall a person is, we're all the same height laying down. So I know it's a little awkward to be with someone on a date, and with women, we may feel a little uncomfortable or funny with a man that is shorter than us. And we don't feel comfortable wearing heels with him because then we're towering over him. And I remember when I was, a little younger and more, had more cush to me. If I was taller than a man, I felt taller and bigger. And he may have been bigger than me, but I just felt bigger because I was of a full figured nature and also taller. So it made me feel a little uncomfortable. It didn't make me rule out potentially getting to know a man that was my height or shorter, but I did feel some kind of way. I felt more comfortability with a taller man. And that was something I went through as being younger. Now, I mean, you could be 3 feet. I mean, please don't, Lord, please don't send me a 3 footer. But I'm just saying, you could be 3 feet and the foot is not bothering me. It's the character of the man, it's the personality, it's how he treats me, it's all these other things and characteristics that I look at that goes beyond how tall he is. But those are things we cannot fix. We can't fix those things. So, they may be on someone's list of I can't deal with, I'm not going to deal with. And then they just end up being lonely because their list of not going to accept and can't and don't want is greater than the wants. And some are just looking for a perfect somebody. There's no perfect somebody. I know this gentleman who's been single for many years, because he's searching for this perfect woman. Every relationship he gets in, there's a story behind what's wrong with her. Every situation, he has a list, a ton of things that's what's right about her, but then he has a whole lot of things that's what's wrong about her as far as he's concerned. The next person may look at that person and say, man, he's a fool. She got it going on. But it's certain things that he's looking for as far as perfection in a woman. And if she's lacking certain things like that, he feel as though she's not the one. And so he finds every excuse in the book to break it off, to not be with her, to leave her. And, that's alarming because number one, you're not going to find that perfect one. You're going to find, and God will present to you that perfect one for you. They have to be that perfect one for you. No questions asked. It's just going to blend and mix in a way that words can't even explain. Like my grandmother told me, you just will know. You're just going to know. You're not going to be able to put it in words, but you're going to know when you have that perfect fit. Now, some of you may say, well, I thought I had the perfect fit 1,000 times. And 1,000 times I was wrong. But if you would have paid attention to the red flags early on, because there's always red flags when it's not the perfect fit. There's always things that show up that don't feel quite right deep down inside you. But what you do is you put a whole bunch of gravel on top of it and try to bury it with hopes that sooner or later things is going to be the way you want them to. Or sooner or later this person is going to change. Or sooner or later they're going to, come close to what I'm looking for in the areas that's all jacked up right now. Most times that's not so. You get what you get. They are who they are. And I talked about this in another video. We cannot go around thinking we can change people. They are who they are. You get what you get. So therefore, pay attention. The red flags are there. Don't sweep them under the carpet. Don't think that this person is the number one magic key to all your problems in your life, Captain Save them, because those issues that are very, very strong to you, say for instance, if it's strong for you to want someone that looks at um, health a little bit more serious. They got a little exercise they incorporate. They try to eat right. No, they don't always eat perfect, but they try to eat decently. They try to work out sometime. They're not always just sitting on the couch with the remote and that's it. Um, And you know that those things are very important to you because they help motivate you. They help keep you focused on the right track and to keep yourself in a healthier focus. And you need that in a mate. So, therefore, you may not want to just settle. You don't think getting with the person is going to motivate them and make them want to be on your page. Usually, if they're on the page they're on, that's the page they're on. Real talk. That's the page that they're on. So we have to just keep that and be mindful and keep that in mind. And I wanted to go back a little bit to the thought of, you know, not being so critical or so anal in regards to what you don't want in a person, what you won't accept. If it's things that they cannot change, that is non-changeable in anybody, then perhaps you need to relook at your list because you are at a point where you're pretty much focusing. I'm not I'm not 14 minutes after. um they're they're looking at, I'm sorry, that was my people's talking about me having to be back at a certain time. I know 14 minutes after. So anyway, you have got to remember that, assessing and evaluating what it is exactly you're looking at. Are you being realistic or unrealistic? Because sometimes we can just be unrealistic about things. We're looking for that anal perfect somebody. We have this magic roadmap and this magic list of what we want, and that's what we want. But there's no perfect magic person out there. There's no perfect. So you try to get somebody close to what you're actually, my suggestion really is to pray on it, ask that God sends you the right person for you, and just sit back and wait and watch. And then in the midst of that, work on things that you need to work on with yourself. Because sometimes, you know, our blessings don't really come when we want them to because we're being given time to work on things that need to be worked on within ourselves. It's given us time to get some things in order, per se. So that's why some, and I'm kind of jumping all around, but y'all stay with me. Y'all stay with me. It must have been the orange. But that's why some sit up and they say, man, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I have been single for so long. I mean, I'm available, I'm open, I'm looking, I'm searching, I'm doing all of that and still nothing. And when I do get something, it's a bag of toads and frogs and rocks. It's just not even worth my focus. And that's because, blessings don't always come when exactly you want them to and how you want them to. They're presented when we're ready to receive them. So you have to be in a space. You have to be in a spiritual space, mental space, physical space. You have to be ready for what's going to be presented to you. Because, mind you, if you got issues with yourself, say for instance, you got anger management issues, you got emotional attachment issues, you got addiction issues, you got stuff that you're still battling with that you need to fix and get together, but you up here praying for this wonderful person to come into your life, Well, that person could be right there, right across the street, 20 feet away from you. But if it's not your time for that blessing because there is things that you still need to work on within yourself and build up and get better and focus on, that blessing is not going to be presented to you at that time. It doesn't mean you won't get it. It just may not be at that time. And that's where we get it tripped up. When we pray for certain things, we want it when we want it. We pray for it, then we pray for it again, then we pray for it. He heard you the first time. He heard you the first time. You don't have to keep asking for the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And some do that. It's like, oh man, maybe they was asleep or out to lunch or whatever. Look, God never sleeps, he never rests, he's never not hearing, he's never not seeing. So whatever you put out there, he gets it. You have to just sit back and wait on the time for it to be revealed to you, which will be when you least expect it, not because you gave up the prayer and in that moment 10 minutes later it's like, okay, so where is it? Where is it? It ain't happened yet. it, it may not happen until tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 2 years from now. It's going to happen though. You have to have faith that it's going to happen though. And in the time frame that is taken for it to happen, see, a lot of times we try to force and fix things to happen when we want it to happen. Or it hasn't been revealed to you that this person is here for you that you prayed on. So you just go out and just snatch up somebody. Well, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. Let me just go on over here and snatch up Boo Boo. Boo Boo ain't the one that was for you. Because all the red flags you see all around Boo Boo and horns and everything else, but because he is a body, a person, a space filler, you go out and make it work for yourself and say, oh, well, thank you. This must be the one. No, that was not the one. And the flags was there to show you and direct you and tell you that that wasn't the one. So stop trying to do it on your own. Stop trying to go and fix things and grab things and get things and do things on your own. You have to have faith that once you put something out there, it will manifest and you will know without a shadow of a doubt. You know, old folks would say, when in doubt, do nothing. So if it's something that's coming your way or around you or in your vibe and you got doubts about it, you better not even, don't move right, don't move left, don't move forward. Stay right in the spot you at. Because you got doubts for a reason. Sometimes certain things is sprinkled in our spirit for a reason. Sometimes certain people are put in our space for a reason and a season. Some people are messengers. Some people are giving you messages and direction. And the number one thing is when you are in a situation where you're waiting for something to happen that you have prayed and asked for, the number one thing is that you have got to be patient and wait on that and not ask 1,000 times for that and focus on you. Sometimes there's a delay because it's some things that you need to work on first. Say, for instance, you praying for a home, a house. And every time you try to do whatever to get a house, something happens. You know, you check your credit, it ain't right. You may have lost a job, or the person you was gonna go in with this property is no longer around, or you just can't seem to get it together to get this. It's not meant for you to have that house right then. There's some things that need to be worked on before you are set up in a position to be able to get that house. And then all of a sudden, when you start focusing in on things that you know you need to work on, perhaps you have that spending issue. Perhaps you have too many creditors. Perhaps the person you was trying to conduct this type of transaction with was not the one you was supposed to be doing that with. It could be a host of reasons. So you start focusing in on what you need to work on. You work on that, focus on that. You've already planted your prayer and what you need and what you want. That's already been planted. So you work on those things, and before you know it, you're gonna be slapped with a house, and maybe more than a house. You may be slapped with two, out of nowhere. You didn't even think you was in a position to even deserve that, ready for that. They check your credit. It's like, oh my God, it went from 6 something to 750 to 800. When did that happen? Then people will start presenting in your circle where boom, 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 realtors, people you know, people that's doing things, people that want to look. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? But you gonna have to work on you and stop sitting up there expecting everything to be done in your time. It ain't about your time. It's about when it's time and when he say it's time. And I didn't mean to go there like this, y'all, but whatever's put here, I have to bring it. I gotta go because they was just hollering at me about being back at 12:14. I mean 1:14. I don't even know what time it is, but I think I'm getting close to that. So I'm gonna have to go because I can go on and on and on. But I'm gonna be back at you guys. I was trying to stop by tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Take heed to these messages. Like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody. Something in this message today is gonna land in somebody's lap and help them. And that's why I do what I do. This is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D, with some afternoon thoughts. You guys be